Hey everybody, my name is Maag-Klobas. I hail from beautiful Troutdale, Oregon. I am a public elementary school teacher teaching here in Troutdale. I'm here in my classroom, my 4th, 5th grade blend classroom right now. We are in the middle of CDL, Comprehensive Distance Learning, so of course I don't have any students here, but I work out of my classroom every day, and I've worked to decorate the front so that we have a fun and engaging place for me to teach live lessons. So this is my 6th year in public education. I actually have 7 years total. 6 of my years have been spent in public school. My 7th year, I actually went abroad to teach for the JET program, in which I was teaching English at a Japanese public high school in a little town called Numazu, Japan. And so that was a great experience. It was actually me looking to see if maybe I wanted to get into teaching high school. Turns out I do not. So I came back to the United States, and I've been teaching for 2 years now here at Troutdale Elementary, doing 4th and 5th grade. So that's what I am doing currently in my career. Why am I taking this course? I'm taking this course this fall to, of course, fulfill a requirement for my MSED in STEM curriculum development, and so that is why I'm here. Why am I doing my master's now? I've been doing education for 7 years now. In my school district that I am in, I am approaching the upper end of my pay scale in terms of being a bachelor's degree holder, and so I need to move up the columns, and so I can make a little bit more money, which I'm sure we can all understand. However, my deeper reasons, of course, are I always planned on going back and getting a master's. I'm really excited about being able to be involved in STEM curriculum because my bachelor's degree is actually in biology. I had originally wanted to be a high school biology teacher. STEM, I'm now in primary education. I am never going to leave. I love 4th and 5th grade, but one of my passions is teaching STEM, science and engineering specifically in the elementary school classroom. And so I really hope to deepen my knowledge about STEM and PBL so that I can take these back and improve my teaching practice here in my classroom with my students. Okay, so previous experience with PBL. My first 2 years in the educational field, I spent working at a public charter school in Los Angeles. This public charter school was working towards becoming a PBL school focused around PBL. And so my first year there, I taught 3 periods of 4th and 5th grade science. The students rotated. And that year I engaged in a lot of PBL. Every unit that we would do was primarily focused around students developing a question and then developing from that question into some steps to investigate and then come to answers about the topics that we wanted to be learning about. And so not all of it was PBL, but most of it I did my best, at least in my first year of education, to implement some PBL. My second year there, I also did PBL, but it wasn't for all subjects. It was mainly for science and social studies and writing. And then my second year, because my second year I was moved back to a 4th grade self-contained classroom. So reading and math less so, and writing less so. Science and social studies remained a PBL center in my classroom there. So, next, project that I would be passionate about researching. As I said, one of my passions in life is implementing STEM learning into a primary grades classroom. I see that is vitally important. If we can develop an interest in STEM in students at a young age, I feel like they're more likely to continue engaging in STEM fields as they grow up. One thing that I see as a major problem in the field of STEM is the fact that women and minorities, specifically Black and Latinx minority groups, are significantly underrepresented in STEM fields and STEM education. And I feel like that is definitely a deficit on the part of teachers in the educational field, and I feel like the STEM educational world really needs to pull together to solve that problem. To engage those students more meaningfully. So something I would be interested in studying is how PBL could affect student engagement, specifically from those minority or underrepresented populations in STEM. and seeing how PBL could maybe be a way to reach out and engage those students and maybe hold them and keep them their interest in STEM so that they pursue someday a STEM field. And again, like I said, I think I'd be interested in researching that at a primary grades level, because I feel like STEM and pulling kids into the STEM world is really easy and effective at the elementary school level, because they're so excited about learning still. And I feel like as kids get older, it's harder and harder to engage them. But with elementary school kids, they're so excited about learning all the time. It's pretty easy to get them interested in even fairly mundane things. So with something as exciting as STEM and using PBL, I believe that primary education is where we can hook kids, and especially young women and minority students, into the STEM world. And so that is my project. Okay, so at the end, it wasn't a question, but the professor referenced the fact that we wanted to talk through 3 or 4 characteristics of PBL. I read through both of the articles, and I felt like the Sana article, which I have open right here, made it kind of easy, because I feel like right at the beginning of that article, they listed several key characteristics of PBL. And so just going through 3 of them that I've found in my life being most important. Number 1, that STEM PBL projects are primarily student created and student driven. So it's not PBL if a teacher hands you a packet and says, here are the steps that you need to follow, or here are all of the steps and criteria that you need to fulfill in order for this to be a project. PBL focuses on students developing a question themselves, coming up with the plans themselves, the steps themselves, and the outcomes end up being novel and genuine every single time, as opposed to getting to some kind of prescribed end where then a teacher grades and check boxes. Thank you. So then number 2 is that PBL teaches collaboration and communication. PBL, one of the primary focuses I feel like is to teach collaboration and communication. It gives students a real place to engage in novel aspects of collaboration. Collaboration is not always easy, especially at the primary grades, where the teacher comes in as the teacher facilitates learning to help kids learn how to collaborate. Otherwise, the learning in PBL happens through students problem solving, and that is way more effective when they problem solve together and dialogue meaningfully. And so it's not PBL if a teacher just listens to a student's problem and then helps them solve the problem. It comes from student dialogue and collaboration and communication. Third step is, or characteristic, is that PBL is designed to function as the primary curriculum for a course or a unit of study. If you're conducting PBL, it needs to be focused on the student project. It can't be supplemental to something else that you're learning somewhere in another part of your course. The primary learning of your course needs to come from the student-driven project. If it's not, it's probably just enrichment, or some kind of supplemental support, or something to deepen or solidify their understanding, which are great things, and I do all the time in my classroom, but are not meaningful PBL. So those are my 3 key characteristics. They're also listed in the text below. And that is my video. Looking forward to working with you all. Talk to you later.